Well, it's official. Football Fanatic has returned for another installment, and after a long-awaited hiatus, the People Show has returned to your screens. And in today's episode of Football Fanatic, we'll be talking about Kylian Mbappe, who has completed his long-awaited move to Los Blancos. It has been the worst-kept secret in all of football, but at long last, the saga is over. Well, it was never really a saga, because we all knew where he was going since about 2021. But before we get into where Mbappe fits into this team, how he changes the dynamics of this team, and what his arrival might mean for certain players at the club, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you guys for all the support on the channel. As I'm recording this, we have currently eclipsed over 150 subscribers, and it's just really rewarding to see that the leap of faith that I took is actually bearing fruit. So I just wanted to say only onwards and upwards from here. And for those of you who haven't subscribed, go on then. Over 95% of those of you who watch my videos are not subscribed to the channel. Come on, it doesn't hurt. If you don't like the content, you can always unsubscribe. In football, I believe that the hardest thing you can possibly do is not getting to the top, but rather staying there for a prolonged period of time. Fresh off the back of a 15 Champions League crown, Real Madrid have once again conquered Europe, re-establishing themselves as the greatest club on the world. Akin to Jose Mourinho's Chelsea, who had just knocked 95 points in the Premier League, they went on to acquire the services of Michael Ballack, then Germany captain. Guardiola's Barcelona going on to sign one of the best strikers in the world in Zlatan Ibrahimovic just off the back of winning the Champions League. Or even Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United, who would win the Premier League in 1991 and then go on and sign Eric Cantona, one of the league's best players. Real Madrid, just like all those other sides, are not resting on their laurels. And this was clear after the final, as Florentino Perez would go on to state, we need to win the 16th next season. That goal would be proven as the next day Real Madrid would confirm the arrival of the best player in the world, Kylian Mbappe. I mean, this is a team that already, in my opinion, has the second best player on the planet, incredible experience littered throughout the squad, and a footballing heritage that just can't seem to be shaken no matter what happens. These guys aren't just winning the Champions League now, they're already making plans to win the Champions League 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. And as I said before, the hardest thing in football is not getting to the top, but rather staying at the top. And Real Madrid throughout their history have shown that they are adept at doing both of those things. And with the signing of Kylian Mbappe, it doesn't seem like they're going to stop anytime soon. Now, the question that everybody's actually asking is, where exactly is this man going to fit? With a slight hint of, will his ego ruin the harmony of the club? Okay, maybe that was just my Barcelona side talking. You guys have to allow me. Now, I asked this question in many senses, not just an on-the-field sense. I spoke about the Vinicius Mbappe dynamic in a previous video in the Champions League. It's Football Fanatic. You guys can check it out in the top corner. It should be coming up if I remember to do that. And how I believe that this is still Vinicius's team, whether Mbappe joins or not. But my belief was clearly fortified by Thierry Henry, who in the Champions League final would go on to state, when asked whether Mbappe would believe that as he joined Real Madrid, whether he would believe that this is his team. And he said, no. Why would he do that? When I arrived at Barcelona, I said to myself that I will show that I can be the main man. Nobody goes and says, hey, I'm the main man. No, you show that you can be. It's a different ball game. Why? Because you won nothing at that club when you arrived. And I believe that Kylian Mbappe shares that same mentality. This is a man in Thierry Henry who has been so close with Mbappe throughout his entire development as a player. He's been an entourage, he's been an advisor to Kylian Mbappe throughout his upbringing, throughout the game. He's definitely had a part to play in this transfer. He's given him his advice, he's given him his blessings, and I feel like Thierry Henry is probably one of the best people we can listen to if we're trying to get into the mind of Kylian Mbappe. Even if Kylian Mbappe's ego might be a problem for Real Madrid, I think Real Madrid have shown many a times that they are not afraid of booting you out if you don't fit into what they want. So I feel like, if anything, that arrogance, that confident persona that we've seen from Mbappe, Champions Leagues, in the World Cup, even in the Ligue 1, the way he speaks about Paris Saint-Germain, the way he speaks about his competitors, I feel like that persona is only going to grow at a club like Real Madrid, where winning is the only thing you can do. You either win or you go. And of course, Real Madrid is a club that fosters a winning mentality. Whether you come in as a bum or you come in as an already elite footballer, that mentality is only going to be perpetuated through you even more than it was before. So I don't think his ego is going to be a huge problem. I mean, this is a dressing room that has egos upon egos. And if Kylian Mbappe thinks he's going to come in and ruin it, then he's going to go out the door. Now, of course, on the field, we know that Kylian Mbappe is traditionally a striker, but he also likes to occupy that left-hand side. We see him do it for France. And at PSG, he didn't primarily start as a left winger, but he definitely did float to that side of the field. And that's what his heat map throughout the season would suggest. He likes to kind of adopt a position in the half space on the left-hand side, close to Barcola or whoever it is playing on that left-hand side. And he likes to cut in on that right foot and do that trademark finish that we all know he's so good at. And I feel like the question we all know is that Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius like to occupy similar positions. But I believe this season, Vinicius has shown that he isn't just a touchline winger. He can play much more advanced. He can play more central. He showed it against Bayern Munich. He showed it in this diamond formation that has accommodated Jude Bellingham and probably people thought hindered Vinicius' game. But Vinicius has shown that he can be a touchline winger like he showed against Kimmich in the second leg of Bayern Munich. But he can also be an in-behind runner, just as he showed in the first leg against Bayern Munich. So I don't believe that Vinicius is going to be tied down to one position. If anything, we're going to see a lot of rotation between those two on the left-hand side. And I felt like what I noticed that really told me that Mbappe and Vinicius would just be fine was Karim Benzema. Karim Benzema's last 2 seasons at Real Madrid, where he was kind of tailing off, but obviously he won the Ballon d'Or and won the Champions League. And Kylian Mbappe's most recent seasons, if you look at the heat maps of the two players, it shows that they like to occupy similar positions. Now, granted, Karim Benzema wasn't shy to moving to the right-hand side from time to time. He was more of a target man than Kylian Mbappe is going to be for Real Madrid. But Benzema was also very prone to supporting Vinicius on the left-hand side. I can remember countless games where Vinicius and Benzema would strike up partnerships, playing little 1-2s on that left-hand side and create goals from absolutely nothing. And Kylian Mbappe is definitely going to be doing something similar to that Benzema did for Real Madrid. Obviously, he doesn't have the hold-up play of Benzema. He might not even have the intelligence of being a main striker in games where you're not going to have that much spacing behind, in games where the defenders are going to be all over you. Strong, tall, fast defenders. But I think they're going to be all right. I mean, they're going to be a lot more than all right. These are two of the best players on the planet. And what frightens me even more is that that's just one player we've spoken about when it comes to Kylian Mbappe. The link up with Vinicius. But I'm sure Kylian Mbappe would have been sad, just as I was, to see Toni Kroos's long balls depart. But he's got Luka Modric, so I don't think he's going to be too sad for too long. You've got Rodrigo's nifty feet on the right-hand side, or even floating to create even more chaos for opponents as they all flock to that left-hand side. You've got Federico Valverde's gut-busting runs alongside Kylian Mbappe, who's not a slouch himself either. This Real Madrid team has a lot of pace. And then even if you are distracted by Kylian Mbappe, distracted by Vinicius, you've got Jude Bellingham's late runs coming into the box to accompany Mbappe and others. It's a long day. It's a long day for every single team in Europe. Every single team in Europe. Because these guys are the best team on the planet and they've gone on and signed the best player on the planet. I mean, what exactly are we supposed to do from here? Is Kylian Mbappe going to get into Vinicius Jr.'s way? Is this going to be Kylian Mbappe's team from day dot? Do you think Kylian Mbappe is actually going to be a revelation at Real Madrid or just another overhyped signing? Now, granted, that would be a very, very, very absurd opinion to have, but it's pretty valid. He still hasn't played any games, so it's not out of the realms of possibility that Kylian Mbappe does not live up to the hype. But of course, he was signed for free, so it shouldn't cost Real Madrid too much. Now, should it, UEFA? But of course, as I said, let me know all your sane or crazy predictions. I'm open to either for the Frenchman down in the comments. But as always, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share it with those you think might be interested in the content I make, and take care of yourselves.